Well, a couple things. One, your wife is she's being arrested this evening and charged with murder.
This was a shocking moment for Zach McArthur, a private investigator married to a former crime scene technician, Ashley McArthur. Zach, in his 100 nightmares, could never imagine that his wife, Ashley, would do something like this, much less get arrested for it.
Yeah, read it. I mean, trying to swallow it and figure it out. I mean, it's like, it's terrible.
On September 8th, 2017, a former cop turned private investigator, Taylor Wright, mysteriously disappears, and no one knows where she is. A week passes by, but no one really cares since Taylor is known for having mood swings and disappearing for days without informing anyone. But this time her disappearance was too timely since in just 4 days, she was supposed to appear in court over the usual ongoing divorce case with her ex-husband, Jeff Wright. So, out of concern, on the 14th of September, just about a week after Taylor's disappearance, her girlfriend, Cassandra Waller, reports to the police that Taylor is missing. Since it has been almost a week, the police immediately start searching for her. They first check Taylor's house to make sure that they don't miss anything, but after a thorough search, they don't really find anything, as none of Taylor's personal stuff is missing, which might indicate that she had fled out of fear of the court battle. Taylor's car was still parked in the driveway, and according to the police, there was nothing to be found, much else of foul play. Realizing this, they could only turn toward contacting Taylor's family and her close friends who might know where she is. But after talking to them, they didn't really find anything interesting, except for the fact that Taylor was having some trouble with the current ongoing court battles with her husband. While the police were still looking for Taylor, Waller remembered a few things that were happening before Taylor disappeared. She told the police that Taylor had taken some money from a joint account with her husband and gave it to her friend Ashley McArthur, who was supposed to help keep it safe. This was illegal, and the court ordered that Taylor bring in a check of at least $25,000 in the next court meeting, or she would be charged with money fraudulent crime and will be warranted for an arrest. She also mentions to the police that the last text that she received from Taylor was odd, as she never speaks like that normally. "I'll call you later. I'm not angry with you, and I should have called, but I just needed to think. I'm trying to get my life organized and on track." Things were starting to fall into place, and the police had a few suspects in their mind. The biggest suspect at that point was Taylor's ex-husband, Jeff Wright, who might have killed his wife, as he feared that he might lose custody since Taylor was starting to piece her life together, and even found a job as a private investigator after she got fired from the police department. The second suspect was Cassandra Waller, who might have killed Taylor Wright since the things between them were quite havoc, and they had been fighting with each other ever since they got into a relationship. The third suspect on the list was Ashley McArthur, who was not only involved with the money situation with Taylor, but also was the last person Taylor ever met before she disappeared. One by one, police started investigating these three suspects. While the police were busy with their own investigation, Waller and Jeff Wright were also investigating on their own as they had joined a thread of the missing Taylor Wright on a site called websleuths.com. Jeff Wright revealed to the public there about how Taylor was in a court battle with him over the money fraud that she had done, where she took out money from their joint bank account and used it without telling him or the court. So in his mind, he thought that her disappearance might have been voluntary since there was no other reason involved. Waller, on the other hand, was extremely depressed, as she told everyone that she had been extremely depressed ever since Taylor disappeared. In a post, she wrote that, "This has been the worst thing I have ever gone through in my entire life. It is one thing to lose someone you love, but to lose them and have no answers is unfathomable. My work days are unproductive, I cry daily, I sit on my porch and watch every car that comes by, hoping she is in one, wake up feeling empty. I don't get excited about things anymore. All I want is to find TW. Flirt." While two of the prime suspects were already investigating on their own and trying to find Taylor, the third prime suspect was doing nothing but chilling in her life, as usual. Ashley was seen drinking and going around to parties, and from her usual demeanor, nothing seemed unusual that might have caused people to believe that she was upset. This is also why the police started to focus on her more after going through a lot of things such as Taylor's call records and her last phone location. After they finally approached Ashley, who had no clue what was coming for her. Ashley was taken into a police interrogation room where the investigators had some questions for her. Ashley didn't resist or do anything suspicious, as she is also a private investigator and knows how to deal with stuff like this. Her confidence and demeanor were a surprise to the police, as most prime suspects on the list will often show signs of fear and might even give away some small hints that might cause them trouble. But in Ashley's case, she was anything but worried, as she confidently answered each and every one of the questions given to her by the investigators. The investigators started asking her about her connection with Taylor, and if they shared any friend groups or something.
But see, I don't know any of her friends really. I mean, like, Cass is the only, like, Facebook friend that we have in common.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So any of that, her other circle, I don't know, So, I mean, I can, ask Cass and stuff how she was doing or whatever, but other than that, we don't have any, like, social friends in common.
Yeah. What was Jeff saying exactly? I mean, was he concerned, or
If
was
you
he?
want to grab my phone, I'll show you.
Yeah, I don't know. That's fine. You don't need.
He just, asked, like, how her behavior had been, and, it seemed out of place for her, but he didn't really know, because some of the things that he had seen wasn't the person that he saw when they were together, and I'm like, well, that's kind of how we all kind of feel, because we don't know who she really is. And then you hear, like, just different chunks. It's so bizarre, and you're thinking, okay, well, is this who she is, or is all of this somehow who she is?
Yeah.
Ashley was quite confident in her answers as she calmly told the police about her friendship with Taylor. The investigator went on forward to ask her about the business dealings that she had with Taylor.
She needed to put, like, money and whatever, and she also wanted to do some of the stuff with my t-shirt business and stuff as well, with her Takeo. And so we added her to my Purely Southern Willsboro account.
Is that a t-shirt business?
Mm-hmm.
How does that work? What does that entail?
We do, like, festivals and things like that, sort of like the gun shows and things like that she was going to, where she wanted to sell her clips and tactical things and stuff like that.
Did y'all have, like, a business agreement?
Nothing, like, really formal.
So what was kind of the plan? She was to just kind of come to put her name on y'all's business or something, and sell t-shirts?
We would just use that as just a umbrella for all of the tactical and the t-shirts and everything together.
Do you know which day y'all added or opened the account?
The account's been open for several years.
After learning of the business deals between Ashley and Taylor, the investigators asked her if her husband Zach was involved with them or not.
Kind of what I was curious about, how he felt about you all going in and being business partners. So.
The relationship Zach and I have is
Yeah, you could.
well, he's only worked 3 days in the past 6 years, so like what I do business wise, it's not like up to him, I guess.
Do you not know what all goes on?
What do you? I mean, like
with the business, your amusement business and this Purely Southern business.
I mean, I've talked to him about it here and there or whatever, but he's not really, involved in anything. If I say, hey, can you come help me with the machine, he might do it, or he might say, I'm not a worker, I don't do machine.
After learning more about the relationship between the trio, the investigators decided to become a bit more proactive in their approach, so they started directly with Taylor's ongoing court battles and her disappearance just before the court date.
Not really. I don't know why she's so just irritated with that court date. I don't.
No, we're talking about the court date for
This
with
whatever.
Jeff.
Right. And thinking that he wanted to have her arrested and all that. I don't know. And
Do you think that she would go away intentionally for over a month?
I think think that she would, but I don't know why she would. I mean, I could see her doing that, but I don't understand her reasoning to do any of that, but I can see her doing that. Because she just is that kind of person. She's going to go where she wants to go and do what she wants to do. And I don't know, I really feel like it's some sort of chess game with Jeff.
After learning that Ashley also believes that Taylor might have intentionally disappeared because of the court trial, the investigators decided to take another approach and asked her about the money situation between her and Taylor.
Do you know how many deposits you and Zach or Ashley would have made into the account?
We probably haven't made any. Taylor put a check in there, or we put a check in there for Taylor maybe 3 or 4 times. Small checks, and then I gave Taylor the cash for them, but it was mostly just she was wanting cash and stuff like that. But I had given her previously when her she said she had some banking issues or frozen accounts or whatever. She had one cashier's check, and then I think the others were like little paychecks that somebody had written to her.
Do you recall how much the cashier's check was for?
I think 33, 34.
And she or you deposited that?
I deposited that. I actually deposited all of the checks for her.
With the money situation out of the way, investigators asked Ashley about the day when Taylor went missing. They asked her if she remembers anything of what she was doing on that day.
I wanted to, at some point, go back over kind of your timeline again, if you didn't mind. And the day that she last went missing, can you kind of start with, like, that night before? So the night before, how did that go? Were you with Taylor?
I saw her at 20.
Okay. And how did that go?
I mean, it was pretty uneventful. I just met him up there. I didn't eat. Taylor ate. Cass didn't eat. And
so that, did you go home after that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And what time did you leave your house again? On the 8th, I guess it would be the 8th. Is that right? So you woke up on the 8th about what time on Friday?
I remember very early.
Did y'all have like preset plans to go meet Taylor and pick her up that day?
Yeah, she and I were going to spend the day together, so but she called me. I mean, probably 9 or 9:30. I would imagine. Probably been earlier than that.
And is that when y'all made the plans to be together all day, or was that pre-planned?
We planned to do that the day before, I think.
Okay.
Because I was off and didn't have a whole lot, to do that day or whatever.
Sure. So,
After learning the timeline, the investigators take Ashley off track by asking her about other things such as her daily life and people close to her. They eventually move to talking about the family farm that she owned and ask her if she ever brought anyone there. Ashley tells them that she brought a couple of her friends over there to have fun, and they even did horse riding there. Taylor was one of those friends, and she enjoyed spending time with her. After wasting some time, the investigators finally come to the point where they ask Ashley about Taylor's phone, and that the last location that they found it was near her farm.
All right, so the next morning, her phone, this is the day after she was disappeared.
Right.
Okay. At 2017, that's 8/17, the first phone call. Her phone is communicating with the tower that covers your house.
Okay.
Not her house, your house. Again, same tower,
Right.
same place. 8/20, all these are incoming calls. They're not outgoing calls.
Right.
Same tower covering your house.
Right.
9/11, her phone's obviously moving because it's over here off a 9 mile in the interstate somewhere in that area. Okay. Still moving. 7:53. 17:53. So, the time goes backwards. Anyways, it arrives back at your house later on that evening.
Right.
Okay. Your phone and her phone is communicating off the same tower, 8 minutes apart. Why do you have her phone, or why is she with you?
She wasn't with me. I was unaware that I had her phone.
How did you get her phone?
While talking about the phone, Ashley spills that she had Taylor's phone, which leads to the investigators pinning her down as they ask her how she received a text from Taylor if the phone was already in her hands.
It was useful, but
Here's the problem with that. You say you got a text message from her the evening of the 8th saying, hey, I'm okay, I just got to get away and get my head clear. That's not possible.
That phone was,
You have her phone.
I don't have her phone.
well, at that point, at that time, a text came from her phone to your phone, according to you, saying,
Well, I mean, that's what popped up on my phone.
what?
I mean, I had a message pop up on my phone.
How did her phone end up back in your truck?
That I don't know. I mean, that's what I mean. I don't know that it ever left. I just got her stuff and took it to Cass.
Well, supposedly she left with her phone because she sent you a text message. That's what you're saying.
She had two phones.
But the phone that she sent you a text message on is the same phone that tower ping's hitting off of.
It may be, but that I have no idea.
At this point, Ashley had nothing to defend herself with anymore, so the investigators pin the last nail in her coffin and just request her to admit that she knows where Taylor is and what happened to her.
You need to tell us where she's at.
I don't know where she is. I don't have a clue.
Look, if you were put in a situation where someone pushed you to do something for whatever reason, maybe against your will, perhaps in self-defense, if something happened and you're scared, don't be scared. Okay, if something happened, like I said, you're not a bad person. You're not a career criminal. This is a person who's traveled across states to take care of a friend.
However, Ashley, who is afraid that she might be arrested at the moment, refuses to tell the officers and keeps on denying that she doesn't know where Taylor is.
I don't know where she is.
But Ashley was stubborn. She insisted that she was innocent and requested for an attorney. Since it's her right as a U.S. citizen, she's granted permission, and the interrogation ends.
I think at this point I need an attorney because it seems to be that y'all think that I did something to her.
Okay. I respect that.
The interrogation paints a clear picture that Ashley McArthur is definitely involved in the disappearance of Taylor Wright, so the police start digging heavily into Ashley McArthur, and this is where things get dark extremely quickly. The police immediately get a search warrant to search Ashley McArthur's mansion, and that's where they found the most unsettling thing in the case yet. The farm that Ashley's family owned is extremely huge, so the police have a difficult time going through all that land. Moreover, the dense woods make it extremely difficult to find any spot that could have been used to bury a dead body. But they don't give up hope and keep on going with their search and even go through the entire house that was built on the farm. There, they don't find anything that interesting except for a few things: a bag of cement and some tools that were used to dig the ground. However, they aren't that unusual since, according to Ashley, she was a fan of gardening and often planted new trees and flowers across their farm. But the police were still not satisfied, so they tried one more time, and this time they focus in on the woods where it's easier to hide a body than just to hide somewhere in the open. And this is where they come across an unusual spot where the dirt feels a bit fresh, as if it was recently dug. They immediately start searching through that area, and that's where they find the concrete mixture that was used to hide the body of Taylor Wright. After digging through the cement that was already quite amateurishly done, they discover a skull of a woman with a bullet hole. This was enough for the police to know what had happened, so they immediately start digging through the area and found other stuff related to Taylor Wright as well. The evidence included the bullet necklace that Jeff Wright had given to Taylor Wright when they were still married. The clothes in the grave also match with the clothes that Taylor was last seen wearing. Ashley McArthur is immediately arrested and put on for trial, but she is able to bail out because there was no trace of any DNA of her that was found over Taylor Wright's body or belongings. This was an extremely tough time for Taylor Wright's family, and especially her girlfriend, Cassandra Waller, who broke down in half and wasn't even able to do her job anymore. The police also had their hands tied because they didn't have any solid lead to put Ashley McArthur back into the courtroom, so they kept on trying to find more evidence to have her pay for her evil deeds. This time, Ashley's husband, Zach, is also called in by the police department, as he's informed that his wife has been arrested for first-degree murder charges. Zach is in shock because he can't believe that his wife would do such a thing.
Well, a couple things. One, your wife is she's being arrested this evening and charged with murder.
What? My God.
Zach was called back to Florida, and he also underwent investigation, just like his wife Ashley McArthur. But unlike Ashley, Zach was prepared, so he brought his attorney with him. During the interrogation process, the investigators asked him how he feels to be sitting in the place where he used to make others spit out the truth. Zach calmly replies to the investigators that it doesn't feel good to be sitting in that place, and this is why he's here in the first place. The investigators ask him about his relationship with Ashley McArthur, to which Zach replies that their relationship was not out of the ordinary and they were just two normal couples. Although he does mention that he always felt Ashley was hiding something from him, and that came true when she was charged with committing fraud at the place where she was previously working. However, after that incident, Ashley stopped doing her shady activities and seemed to be returning back to her normal self. This is exactly why Zach was so shocked when he learned that his wife was arrested for a first-degree murder. The investigators keep on asking him for more details, and with each question, the pressure on Zach's shoulders increased. But he still kept his calm and didn't show any signs of hesitation that might place him under the keen eyes of the investigators. The investigators, while trying to maintain the pressure, ask Zach if he knows anything about the firearms that he owns or Ashley owns.
Do you own any 9mm handguns? What kinds?
A Glock.
Just one or
Yeah. I've got a lot of guns. A lot. One Glock 9.
what model?
19.
19? Okay. And do you still have it?
Yep, got it.
Yeah. I don't know if we got it.
So the city, whoever, I mean, from what I read off the thing, they got my Glock, my SIG, my other Glock 45. Okay, there's a bunch of shit on there.
Do you know how Taylor died?
For Ackerman told me that the girl was shot, and he heard that from Molchan.
So Ackerman told you and he got it from Molchan?
Yeah.
Okay. Did he elaborate on anything else?
He just said that they thought the girl was shot.
Okay. Is Ashley a gun or anything of that nature?
Man, over the years, yeah. I bought her a 380 one time.
What kind?
PPK.
PPKS or PPK?
I don't know. And it sat in a box on the bookshelf for I don't know how long.
And does she carry a firearm?
I haven't seen her one in quite a while. Not at all.
Do you own a 38 airweight?
Yes. And she used to. That's the last thing I ever remember seeing her with was a 38 airweight, and that was I haven't seen her with that in I don't know how long.
Holstered, unholstered, or
it was in a Glock leather holster.
like an oversized holster or something?
Yeah.
What did she carry? What did she would carry?
I'm sure she'd just throw it in her car or whatever. I don't know.
Did she carry a purse or anything like
Yeah.
that? You know, she would put it in her purse.
I never saw a gun in her purse.
Zach's posture and his laid-back attitude during the conversation was offsetting to the police, but they couldn't really pinpoint anything, and since Ash had his lawyer beside him, the police also couldn't pressure Zach into revealing anything personal, since that would be illegal in the eyes of the law. However, there was no way to move this interrogation further without applying pressure on Zach, and so the investigators had to take the risk and decided that it was better to do it and regret it, instead of not doing it and regretting later.
Did you kill or participate, or do you have any knowledge?
Zero, Jason. Absolutely none. I don't want to be nowhere near it. No, nothing involved with it. Nothing. I know nothing about it.
But surprisingly, Zach kept his calm and carefully answered the investigators that he has nothing to do with the case, and nor does he want to get involved with it. Zach also seems upset because he couldn't believe that his wife would do something like this. According to him, Ashley was a smart woman who knows how to cover her mistakes. But in a crime like this, where all the evidence was clearly exposed, doing something like that wasn't something that he expected from the love of his life.
I can't see her doing something like that. I mean, she's super intelligent. You know, she's got a criminal. I mean,
Master's.
yeah, or bat. Is it master's or bat? I don't know, one of the two. And it's just sloppy. I mean, that's sloppy shit. That's sloppy. I can't see her doing that. It's super sloppy.
With this, the interrogation ends and Zach McArthur is free to go. The police continued to look for more clues, and soon enough, they find the one last clue that was all needed to put the final nail into Ashley McArthur's coffin. Ashley McArthur, who thought that she would soon be freed from all the allegations, clearly forgot that she had gone to the nearby Home Depot to buy the cement, the same cement that was used to bury Taylor Wright's body. The CCTV footage from the camera revealed that Ashley had gone to the Home Depot where she bought the cement, and the purchase slip confirmed that it was really her. In August 2019, the court summons Ashley McArthur for her trial, and there she pleads guilty to her crime that she murdered Taylor Wright for $34,000 that she was supposed to keep safe for Taylor. However, due to her greed and lavish style of spending, she spends that money to buy a motorcycle for her boyfriend Brandon, whom she was having an affair with behind her husband's back. And when Taylor asked her to give back the money because the court had summoned her, Ashley couldn't produce it, so she hatched a plot to murder her. At first, Ashley's plan was to overdose Taylor with cocaine, which she already used to do in the past. However, when Taylor tasted the drink, she immediately felt that something was wrong, and that's when Ashley had to take the cruel step and she shot Taylor at the back of her skull, which immediately ended the life of the 33-year-old lady, who was about to take a new step in her life, leaving behind all of her past trouble. Just 4 days after her trial began, the court declares Ashley McArthur of a first-degree murder and sentences her for life imprisonment with a mandatory 25 years served. Let's take a few moments of silence to honor the soul of the lost Taylor Wright, who unfortunately passed away at the hands of her own best friend whom she trusted with everything. Ashley's greed and lust for blood only ruined her own life, but also ruined the life of many others who had done nothing wrong. This is a grave reminder to those who think that their evils only harm them. In reality, it hurts the most to those who are close to them.